All right, so we are starting our area officer candidate school, which is so very fun. Go ahead and give me a holler if you're excited.
Super excited.
Ah,
Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! Yay!
Woo.
And I'm also going to slide over. So it's not just me here in our office. We also have Mr. Adam Poussin. He is our area officer coordinator, and he is running NomCom this year. So we're super excited to have him. And we're both going to be tag teaming this presentation for you guys, okay? All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. Can everyone see my screen and see the PowerPoint that we have up for you guys? Yeah. All right. So this is going to be some of our expectations and our procedures for today. So we would like for you guys to stay muted when you aren't speaking and to keep your cameras on, of course. If you have a question, you can type it in our chat box or you can just unmute yourself. I would refrain from raising your hand because I can't see everyone's faces right now. So it'll be better for you to just go ahead and unmute yourself and say it. Also, because sometimes it's harder for me to see the chat as well. But you can also type it in the chat if you would like.
Excuse me, Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
We're having a momentary fire drill. Can we just go on mute really quick?
Yeah, you can go off real quick.
Thank you.
You're welcome. If you lose internet connection, don't panic. Just go back to the link that we sent you in your email and click it to rejoin. And then, of course, if you have any major issues, you can text Adam. He's sitting right next to me, so he can let me know if anything's going on. His number is 337-458-9171. So I'm gonna give you all a few seconds to go ahead and write that number down in case y'all have an issue so that you can text him.
what was the name again?
That's Mr. Adam Poussin.
How do you spell Husan?
Poussin is Pousson.
What was the number again? Sorry.
That's okay. It's 337-458-9171.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, wait, 9147?
9171.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So today, during candidate school, we are going to provide you guys with a thorough explanation of everything you'll do as an area officer, as well as the NomCom process. We're going to do our best to answer any and all of your questions that you have. We don't want anyone to be have any concerns or to be confused about anything when they step into that room at convention for NomCom to run for area office. We also are going to stay positive and engaging, and that means us as facilitators and everyone in this room today. Overall, you'll have a better experience if you stay positive and if you engage with us. The candidates, you guys are going to listen actively and take really good notes. Definitely think of questions to ask while we are going through this presentation. And then for you, stay positive and engaging as well. We have a lot of future friends in this meeting room right now for you guys that you don't even realize, right? And so you may have some of your best friends on this Zoom call. And so it's best to stay positive and to go ahead and start building those friendships, right? Because these may be people that you're going to be on a team with next year. Right. So for today's agenda, we are going to review the area officer responsibilities. So that's everything that we expect you guys to do, those things that are mandatory for you to do as an area officer and throughout your year of service. We're going to review the area officer calendar of events. And so we have a calendar of different events that are mandatory for you to go to and to attend. And a lot of those, we already have the days set out, so you can write those down and see if there's any conflicts. And just kind of make sure that this is something that you want to do by the time that you step into the NomCom room. We also have area officer policies. So these are the rules and the guidelines that you'll have to follow throughout your year of service that Mr. Adam will be checking throughout the year. So he definitely keeps up with it and makes sure that you are following the contract and the guidelines that you sign over to when you become an area officer. And then we have our area officer capstone program. That is a reflection program. That's just supposed to help you guys become better leaders and reflect on the lessons that you're learning as you go throughout your year of service. And then we're not going to keep y'all on for a whole 3 hours. We're going to give you a break. So we'll give you a little 15-minute break and we'll hop back on. Not right now. That's just, we're going to give you a 15-minute break after we explain a few things. And then after we get back on from our break, we're going to explain the selection process and its purpose. We're going to review what the interview rounds and the scheduling is going to look like at convention. And then we're also going to explain the competencies and how they're scored for you guys. And then, of course, if y'all have any questions about selection, the process, or the expectations of you as an area officer, we'll go through those as well. All right. So first, we're going to do a roll call. When I call your name, go ahead and tell me if you're here. And then we're also going to do somewhat of a little icebreaker. We got to be pretty quick, though, because we have a lot of people in the Zoom call right now. So what I want you guys to do is after I say your name, so for example, if I say, Olivia Starks, she'll say here, and then I want you guys to say your name, your chapter, what grade you're in, and your favorite current song. So whatever your favorite song is right now, go ahead and tell that to the group, okay? And so Mr. Adam and I can start if that makes things a little bit easier. My name is Elizabeth Richwine. I work for state staff right now. I'm a senior at LSU, so I'm about to graduate in just a week, which is crazy to even think about. I went to Florien High School when I was a member, and my favorite song right now is probably anything by Chris Stapleton, because I love Chris Stapleton.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adam Poussin. I will be serving as your area officer coordinator next year. I'm originally from Iota, Louisiana. I'm currently a sophomore here at LSU studying ag education. And my favorite song is probably I Remember Everything by Zach Bryan.
Do we have some Zach Bryan fans in here?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know
Yeah.
Zach Bryan fans in
Definitely.
here. Awesome. All right, well, we're gonna start the roll call. So after I say your name, we'll give you some time to go ahead and give your answers, okay? So Brett Vincent.
Miss Elizabeth.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Breck.
I have two of my friends who are texting me saying that they can't hear anything.
They can't hear anything. Okay,
So,
just ask them to
yes, ma'am. So what do they need to do?
ask them to leave and to rejoin real quick and see if that fixes the problem. And if not, give
Excuse me,
them
Miss Elizabeth. I gotta go really quick and close this door.
okay. And then if that still doesn't work for your friends, just send them Adam's number so that they can text him and we'll figure it out.
They could also potentially use closed captions, depending on if their computer.
Yes. Alrighty. So
Sorry about that. My teacher had a bunch of students coming in.
that's okay. Breck Vincent. All right. Olivia Starks.
Sorry, guys. My name is Olivia Starks. I'm from the Ruston High School FFA chapter, and my favorite song is probably, oh, that's difficult. Probably anything by Zach Bryan.
Perfect. All right. Connor Walters.
Here, my favorite song, I'm from Forest FFA chapter, 9th grade. My favorite song is anything by Toby Keith.
Toby Keith. That's a good one. Macy Teal.
Here. I'm from Forest High School. I'm in 10th grade, and I don't really have a favorite song.
Okay. Do you have a favorite TikTok sound?
No, not really.
Not really. That's okay. I can tell you one of my all-time favorite TikTok sounds is the one that's like, it's a cow farm. There's gonna be cows outside. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? None of y'all know that one? That one's so good.
that one I just thought
As,
it was
as,
speak
as
up.
everybody was getting on, I was just on like Instagram and TikTok watching it over and over. It's so good.
That one is a good one. That's what I thought. All right. Molly Bobeth. Autumn Jordan.
Here, I'm sorry. I was trying to figure out how to unmute.
Okay.
I'm Autumn Jordan, and I'm from Caldwell Parish High School. I'm in 10th grade. My favorite song right now is, I don't know, it's probably Headbanger by Baby Metal.
Okay. See you. Katie Atkins.
Here. My name's Katie Atkins. I'm from the Bitsville chapter. I'm in 10th grade, and my favorite song right now is Time of Our Lives by Pitbull.
That's a good one. Krista Kelly.
Hi, my name is Krista Kelly. I'm from the Wait, can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay. My favorite song is probably anything by Luke Combs.
Abel McBride. Dawson Pardon. Tracy Wickham.
Hi, I'm Tracy Wickham. I'm in the 9th grade from West Washita High School, and I love Taylor Swift, so my favorite song is basically anything by Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is a good one too. Let's see. Annie K. Ainsworth.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't know if Hi, I'm Andy K. Ainsworth. I'm in the 10th grade and I am from the Forest FFA chapter. My favorite song would probably be Hold On to Me by Lauren Daigle.
Oh, that's a good one too. Man, you'll have some good music taste. Let's see. Jaden Harrison.
Here. My name is Jaden Harrison. I'm a freshman and go to Bipsel FFA. My favorite song, I listen to the soundtrack of my favorite game, Kingdom Hearts.
Okay. Lauren Gable. No Lauren Gable. Lola Frink.
Hi, my name is Lola Frank. I'm in the 10th grade from the Forest FFA chapter, and my favorite song is probably Shell Shocked by Juicy J.
There we go. Emma Metters. Emma Metters. Colin Sebron.
She's here.
Emma's here.
She is. She's in the other room. I don't think her mic is working.
Okay. That's okay. Thank you for telling us. If you want to tell her to type her information about herself in the chat so we can still see it, go ahead and let her know she can do that. Colin Sebron. Cooper Drury.
Oh, that's me. My name is Cooper Drury. I'm from the Oak Grove FFA chapter, and my favorite song is probably something by George Strait, but if I had to pick, it'd probably be like Amarillo by Morning or something.
Okay. Abigail Hardy. Is Abigail here today? Eden Fisher. Okay. John Patrick. Weston Earhart. I saw that your mic isn't working, so that's okay.
Hey, John Patrick is coming in later.
Okay.
But he has EOCs.
Gotcha. Thank you. Briley Green.
Yes. I'm Briley Green. I'm in 10th grade at Dritter FFA chapter, and my favorite song is Burn, Burn, Burn by Zach Bryan.
That one's McKinnon Bragg.
He's trying to get his microphone to work right now.
Okay. Is he in the same room as you?
Yes, ma'am. Do you just want me to turn my Chromebook?
Yeah.
My name is McKinnon Bragg. I'm in 10th grade, part of the Florine FFA chapter. My favorite song is Seven Summers by Morgan Wallen.
Ooh, that one's good. All right. Mackenzie Marshall.
I believe she's AP testing right now.
Okay. Kinley Patz.
She's also testing.
Gotcha. Victoria Aaron. No, Victoria Aaron.
Her mic's not working.
Ask her to go ahead and send her.
But she's right beside me.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, she can just introduce herself.
Hey, come here. Right here.
Hi, my name is Victoria Aaron. I'm from Zoalia FFA. I'm in 11th grade right now, and my favorite song is Curses by Crane Wives.
Awesome. Allison Wren.
She's testing right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Haley Sweat.
She's also testing.
She's also testing. All right. Dylan Vines, is he also testing?
Yes, he's testing.
Landry Earhart. Is your mic not working? You can send that in our chat for us as well, so we can still see it. Okay. Jackson Morrow.
He's getting there with his mic.
Awesome. We'll give him a second.
We good. Are we good now? Yeah, we good. All right, I'm Jackson Morrow. I'm from Florine FFA. I'm in 9th grade, and I like anything from Florida Georgia Line. I don't really have a favorite song, just anything from them.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Jackson. Patrick Puri, I just saw that he had sent it in the chat that his mic isn't working. We see that you're here though. He's from the Zwolle High School FFA chapter. He's in 10th grade, and his favorite song is anything from Zach Bryan. Chance Grapp.
My name is Chance Grapp. I'm from Florine FFA FFA chapter. I'm a freshman, and my favorite song is also "I Remember Everything" by Zach Bryan.
Thanks. Florine, are y'all all in the same room?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Just make sure if one of y'all is gonna speak that everybody else is muted, just to keep that echo in it.
We are. It's just, I guess it's because of how close our Chromebooks are.
Okay. If y'all want, you can all do it from one Chromebook if you would like.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Ali Wilczewski?
Allie Lacheski. I'm from the Florine FFA chapter, and can she hear me? My favorite song is Anything by Riley Green.
Perfect.
Any song.
Kim Welch?
My name is Christian Welch, and I'm a junior, a part of the Florine High School FFA chapter. My favorite song is Anything by Shinedown.
Okay. Christopher Little?
Okay, is it working?
Yes.
Okay, everybody gets my last name wrong. It's Christopher Lytle, not Little. But I'm Christopher Lytle. Okay, sorry about that. I'm Christopher Lytle from the Florine FFA chapter. I'm a freshman, and my favorite song is probably the 2008 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme.
Perfect. All right. Macy Jarnigan?
Yes, ma'am. Hey y'all, my name's Macy Jarnigan. I'm in 10th grade and I'm in the Lakeview FFA chapter. My favorite song right now is probably Brain Stew by Green Day.
Okay, awesome. Gracie Moore?
She's testing right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Andrew.
Chevalier, he's testing
Okay.
right now.
Okay, thank you. Lindsay Bowie.
My name is Lindsay Bowie. I'm from Gina High School in the 11th grade, and my favorite song is New Wine by Hillsong Worship.
Sweet. I like that song too. All right. Joe Lewis.
Hey everyone, my name is Joe Lewis IV. I'm from the Winfield FFA chapter, and I'm in the 9th grade. And right now, my favorite song would probably be Anything by Kendrick Lamar.
All right, Jacob Kraft.
My name is Jacob Kraft. I'm from the Tioga FFA chapter, and my favorite song is probably Anything by Gavin Adcock.
Okay. Hannah Worsham.
Hi, my name is Hannah Worsham. I am in the 11th grade, and I am from the Natchez Central High School FFA chapter. And I think right now, my favorite song would have to be the new Luke Combs song, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma, for the new Twisters movie.
Okay. Anaya Richard. Anaya. Is she here today? Sullivan Kane. Sarah Rodriguez. Brody Johnson.
No. Can you hear us?
Yes.
My name is Brady Johnson. I'm in 8th grade at Hackberry High School, and my favorite artist is Zach Bryan.
Samantha Gobert.
Hi, I'm Samantha Gobert. I'm from the Iota High School chapter. I'm in 10th grade, and my favorite song is probably Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, that's a good one. Wyatt Poole.
Yeah, my name's Whitepool. I'm from the Hagberry FFA chapter, and my favorite song is probably either Missed Call by Treaty Oak Revival or Drinking Alone by Ty Myers.
Awesome. Kaylin McKay.
Hi, I'm Caitlin McKay. I'm in 10th grade. I'm from the Elton FFA chapter, and my favorite song is Chicken Fried by Zach Bryan Band.
All right. Madison Orsick.
My name is Madison Orsack. I'm from the Elton FFA chapter, and my favorite song is 2 Dozen Roses.
Kaylee Lemoyne.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Lemoyne. I'm from the Elton FFA chapter. I'm in 10th grade, and my favorite song is Lose Control by Teddy Swims.
Cameron Clark. Is Cameron Clark here today? Callie McLemore.
Hi, I'm Callie McLemore, and I'm from the Girling FFA chapter, and my favorite song is Burn It Down by Parker McCollum.
Abby Tassin.
Hey y'all, so I'm Abby Tossett. I'm from Lewis Ass Middle FFA chapter. I'm in the 7th grade. I'll be in the 8th grade next year. And my favorite song is probably anything by Taylor Swift or Spring Kings by Eric Church.
Bailey Myers. Modric Franklin. Is Modric or Bailey here? No. Okay. Bailey Connor.
Hey y'all, I'm Bailey Connor and I'm part of the Grand Lake FFA chapter. I'm currently in 10th grade and I think my favorite song would be Where That Came From by Randy Travis.
Orlando Verrett.
Good morning. My name is Orlando Verrett. I'm in the 11th grade, and my favorite song right now is Deeper in the Holler by Randy Travis.
Benjamin Robichaud.
He's not here.
He's not here.
No, ma'am.
Is he testing or anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alarian Fuselier.
She's testing as well.
Okay. Tamara Welch. Madeline Fossum.
Hey y'all, my name is Madeline Fossum and I am a sophomore at Central Lafourche FFA and my favorite song is Human by Cody Johnson.
Cameron Legendre.
Hello, my name is Cameron Lejean. I'm from the Central Lafourche FFA. I am a 10th grader and my favorite song is to be Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith.
Anthony Plaisant.
Hello, everybody. My name is Anthony Plaisance. I am from Central Lafourche FFA chapter. I am in the 10th grade, coming upon the 11th. And my favorite song, while I'm not the biggest fan of listening to music, would definitely be 9 to 5 by American legend herself, Dolly Parton.
Amen on that, brother.
Colin Hall.
Go, 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 go. Hi, my name is Talon Hall. I am a 9th grader, and my favorite song is Set Me Free by Rolla Rodriguez. Period.
McKenna Walters. Callie Ray Goodson.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Callie Ray Goodson. I'm from the Boya FFA chapter,
And one of my favorite songs would probably have to be We Are the People by Empire of the Sun.
Awesome. Tyler Spears.
Hi, I'm Tyler Spears. I'm from the Boyd FFA chapter. My favorite song is Wild Ones by Jelly Roll.
Blakely Martin.
Hi, I'm Blakely Martin. I'm in 7th grade from 6th FFA. And my favorite song right now is probably Anyone But You, Morgan Wallen.
Perfect. Jaden Pouchet.
My name is Jaden Porsche. I'm from the Central Lafourche FA chapter, and my favorite song would probably be Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
Jolene Hunt.
Hi, I'm Jolene Hunt. I'm from 5th Ward FFA chapter. I'm in the 8th grade, and my favorite song right now is Florida by Taylor Swift.
Samantha Harrison. Carlson. Kinsley Sims.
Hi, my name is Kinsley Sims. I am part of the Varnado FFA chapter. I am a sophomore, and my favorite song is Lose My Best Friend, Stray Kids.
Reese Bourne.
Hey guys, my name is Reese Bourne. I am from the Central Lafourche FFA chapter, and I'm currently a 9th grader, and my favorite song right now would probably be Rodeo by Garth Brooks.
Perfect. Allie Hood.
Hi, I'm Allie Hood. I'm from Assumption FFA chapter, and my favorite song is Cover Me Up by Morgan Wallen.
Aiden Frantovich. Good morning. You can open that door. It's fine. Is Aiden not here today? No. Caitlin Meche.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Mesh. I'm from Deshaun High chapter. I'm in 10th grade. I don't particularly have a favorite song, but if I pick a band, I would say Måneskin.
Perfect. Jake Sherman.
Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
It's Jake Sheremy. My name is Jake Sheremy. I'm from South Lafourche, the South Lafourche chapter. I don't really have a favorite song, but right now it's between two. It's Till You Can't by Cody Johnson and Last Night by Morgan Wallen.
Those are both good songs. Alyssa Somerville. Alyssa. No. Hudson Galloway.
Hi, my name is Hudson Galloway from the North Shore High School FFA chapter. I'm in 11th grade, and my favorite song right now is probably Cowboy by Kid Rock.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's everybody. It's good to meet all of y'all this morning. And I think I'm gonna have to make a new playlist for myself after hearing all your favorite songs. Let's see.
Also, Owen. You forgot Owen Kelly.
We miss Owen. Is there anybody else we missed?
I also got missed.
I got missed too.
Okay, so we have let's start with
I also
Owen,
got missed.
and then we'll go down from there.
So I'm Owen Kelly from the Oak Grove FFA chapter, and I'm a junior right now. And I think probably my favorite song right now is by Cole Wetzel. I don't know.
Perfect. Great. And then who else was missed?
I was missed.
Okay. Go ahead, Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie Brookhouse. I'm from the Kinder High School FFA chapter. I'm a freshman, and I think my favorite song right now would have to be "Thank God I Do" by Lauren Daigle.
Stacy, I think I saw that you got missed.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Stacy Dew. I'm from the Zawali High FFA chapter. I'm in the 11th grade, and I'm between two songs, which is Dirt Road Anthem by Jason Aldean and Thinking About Me by Morgan Wallen.
All right. Is there anyone else who didn't get their name called today?
I got missed.
Kaylee Perkins. All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Hey, I'm Kaylee Perkins from the Sulphur FFA chapter. I'm in 11th grade, and if I had to pick a favorite song, it'd probably be Any Song by Cody Johnson.
All right. Anyone else today that we didn't call your name? No? All right, perfect. Oh, I'm going too far. All right, so we're gonna jump right in real quick, because I don't want to hold you guys too far past lunch or anything. So we're gonna start off with the roles and the responsibilities of area officers. So we already have a few area officers, or candidates that have been area officers on the call today, and they definitely know what it's like. But for anyone who is not aware of what an area officer does or what their roles or their responsibilities are throughout the year, we're going to go ahead and go through those. Okay. And obviously by the pictures, you can tell that they have so much fun. They get to hold bunnies, give out banners, do conferences, take lots of selfies. Super fun. So one of your biggest roles is student leadership. You guys will serve as leadership delegates at state convention. And so what we do as leadership delegates is there are issues sent from the members across the state and from different chapters across the state that they would like to fix or for our organization. And so what you guys will do is you will serve as voting delegates, leadership delegates, and you'll get to vote on those issues to see which way you would like for our organization to fall for that or to follow through with that. And so, for example, if one of the issues that was submitted were to abolish official dress, right? Which that would obviously never happen. And we would never want that to happen. But let's just say that that was one of the issues that would be sent. You as area officers would vote whether that would actually happen the upcoming year or you would keep official dress as our standard officer wear or wardrobe, right? So you'll get to serve and vote on pretty much the future of our organization, which is a really cool responsibility. You also get to engage in professional conversations with industry leaders, educators, and government officials. And so we have events like Capitol Day. We get to go on business and industry tours. And so through those different tours and those different events, you get to speak to the leaders of our state, whether that's legislators or department heads of Department of Education, Mike Strain. You'll also get to go to places like BASF, and those are just leaders in agriculture and different organizations and industries that have jobs. So you can network and make those connections while you're in high school, which is also really cool. And then, of course, you get to empower members. And so you guys are looked up to by the members in your area and just across our state. And so you empower them and encourage them to do the CDEs and LDEs that they want to maybe run for an area position next year and just to do well in everything that they want to pursue as an FFA member. Oh, and as you can see, this is our Brodeo. So Kinsey and Hayden had such a fun time getting to interact with members and dress up and everything there this year. So we definitely have a lot of fun events where you guys can make lots of memories. Okay. As an area officer, you're also going to advocate for the agricultural industry, for farmers across the state, for consumers. You're going to advocate for agricultural education and what FFA members and students in general get to learn in the classroom. And then you're going to advocate for FFA, the organization that we all love, right? Because you wouldn't be running or you wouldn't have submitted your application today if FFA wasn't something that was important to you. So you get to advocate for all of those things. And you do that by meeting with those industry leaders, empowering members, just like I said earlier, and doing all those things, making all those connections. Finally, we have personal growth. So you're going to spend the year traveling with your area team throughout your area. You're going to communicate and network with plenty of super important individuals that can really help you with your future career, with school, with different opportunities. You're going to have lots of priorities and responsibilities as an area officer, as well as maybe school and work and extracurriculars or sports. And so you're going to really learn how to effectively manage your time. And then, of course, when you meet these different representatives and these different legislators and industry leaders, you're going to have to maintain a sense of professionalism. And so you're going to have professional social media, you're going to stay positive, and you're just really going to be able to know how to interact with these individuals in a professional stance. And then, of course, you'll have to attend all of the required FFA events and complete the required assignments. And so all of those combined together is going to lead you to immense personal growth that you're going to be able to see throughout your year of service. And by this time next year, if you're elected, you're going to see such a dramatic change in all the different skills that you've learned just from being an area officer. So some of your responsibilities as an area officer, when you go to these different events, when you go and see different chapters or hold your own conferences, some of those responsibilities are going to include facilitating workshops. And so I'm sure many of you have had a state officer or an area officer even come to your own chapter. Maybe you've gone to an area officer or an area conference and you've had workshops performed that you were a part of and that you participated in. Well, now you're going to be on the flip side and you're going to be the one giving those workshops. And so you'll have the training and we will train you on how to do all of those things at AOT, but you will be facilitating those workshops. You're also going to give speeches. You're going to go to retreats and host conferences. You're going to have to follow due dates. We have pretty strict due dates, but we do give and ensure that you have plenty of time to complete those due dates. And then, of course, you get to travel, and you get to travel all across our state. So who doesn't like traveling, right? So there's lots of responsibilities, but there's a lot of benefits that come with those responsibilities. All right. Some more responsibilities that follow along with that is carrying through with your commitment to Louisiana FFA. Like I said, you wouldn't have filled out your application if this wasn't something that was important to you, if you weren't committed to Louisiana FFA and to making a difference in our organization. And so just always remember that as you go throughout your year of service. You're also going to have to be a lifelong learner. So you're going to be completely versed in all things FFA and Ag Ed. And the thing about that is you'll never fully be completely versed in all things FFA and Ag Ed. There's things that Mr. Adam and I learn to this day, every day, about agriculture and about FFA. And we've been doing this for years. I mean, Adam, how long have you been doing this?
Since my freshman year of high school.
Yeah, so he's got almost 6 years. I'm at nearly 8. So we're still learning every day, and so are you guys. But that's a really fun thing to do. It's fun to learn about the things that we enjoy, right? And then when you learn those new things, you're also going to be positive agents of change. And so you guys are going to be, like I said, making the difference in our organization. You are the leaders of our organization. And so you are the leading troop to making the differences that you want to see in our organization and for our members and for our future. You also have to set high academic, moral, and ethical standards for yourself and for each other. Like I said, the members are going to look up to you. And so you're going to be an example not only of that agent of change, but also of just who an FFA member is and what they morally do, what they achieve academically, what standards they set for themselves. Those are all examples that are shown through you guys and through your position. And then you also have to take care of yourself. Of course, hygiene is important. There's going to be lots of days where we're hot and sweaty. We live in Louisiana. We've got lots of things we have to do in tight spaces. You're going to be around your team and around members all of the time. So whether that's at camp or AOT or SLDC. And so it's really important to keep make sure that our hygiene is kept up. Just because everyone knows, hygiene is important, and it's definitely something that we want to be respectful of the people around us. And so that's one way that we can keep that respect up. And then, of course, you are going to be the shining examples of what a premier FFA member should be. And so, like I said, you are that standard, you are that example, and everyone looks to you, and they look to you to see what Louisiana FFA members are like and what our top best of the best members are like, because that is you guys. All right. And then just to help you guys as you go throughout all of those responsibilities, we follow the IPK rule. And so that is just to help your mindset as you go through all the different things that you have to do throughout your year of service. And that stands for initiative, positivity, and kindness. And so as you go on any conference, go to camp, as you facilitate a workshop or interact with members, just always make sure that you have initiative and that you're willing to do anything and help anyone.
You know how many pictures there are of me, like in general?
Oh yeah, no, but you're in every single slide.
So, think
just remember to keep y'all's microphones off, all right, guys? But like I was saying, you just want to have that initiative to do anything and to be willing to help anyone. You want to keep that positivity and you want to keep that kindness for everyone you're around. Right. So now we're going to go to the area officer calendar of events. These are the events that it is mandatory for you to go to throughout your year of service. And this will just kind of give you an idea of what your year of service is going to look like and what it's going to look like on a month-to-month basis even. All right. So one of the busiest times for area and state officers is definitely summertime. And so you have state convention, of course, and then right after state convention, we have our leadership camp. It is mandatory that you go to the camp of your area. And so area 3, if you are elected as an area 3 officer, you will have to go to leadership camp from June 25th to June 27th. If you're in area 4, you're going to have to go to leadership camp from July 9th through July 11th. And then if you're in area 1 or 2, you have to go to camp from July 16th through the 18th. And so it's a really fun experience. If you haven't been to camp, I definitely encourage you to, whether that's as an area officer or just as a member. But you guys will even have a role at leadership camp. So you're going to host activities in between sessions. So whether that's rec time or icebreakers, you're also going to get to meet all of the different people in your area, which is really fun. And then y'all do fun things together. We have zip lines. It's at the Wesley Center, which is in Alexandria. And so they have zip lines, they have a pool, they have a huge outdoor rec area. You can play gaga ball or go fishing. And so it's like the perfect FFA getaway for the summer anyways. And then of course you get to meet all of your friends and, build those relationships with your team too. And then while you're at camp, you will also present flag raising ceremonies. And so we do a flag raising ceremony every morning, the morning of camp, and you guys will get to help in that and be a part of that. And so that's kind of like a speech as we raise the flag and do the Pledge of Allegiance. So all of those things are super fun. And then, of course, you also get to be with the state officers. So the newly elected state officer team, this is one of the big things they get to do to interact with members. And so you'll get to be with them and follow their leadership as well. Okay. You're also going to do chapter visits. So chapter visits come on a rolling basis. That means as a chapter request for a state and area officer, that's when you'll be requested to go. It's not mandatory that you go to every single one that you're requested for, but we would encourage you to go to as many as you possibly can, just because they're good experiences. And this is exactly what you signed up for, right? Was to go and to meet members and to make a difference. And so this is how you're going to do that. And so we have pre-made workshops created by the state officer team throughout the year. And so they will make those right after camp, and those will be shared with you if you are requested to a chapter visit. When you go to that chapter visit, you'll give a workshop or presentation to various chapter audiences within your area. And then, of course, you're going to maintain that member engagement, professionalism, and advocacy role that you have of being an area officer. One thing to keep in mind is you'll never go to a chapter visit without a state officer, and the state officer is going to lead you. So the state officer will definitely take on more of the responsibility of leading that chapter, and you're just going to be there to aid and to help them. And they're going to help you through the workshop. So there's no need to worry about having to give a whole presentation to a class or to a chapter. We're going to have the state officers to guide you and to help you learn. And if you ask, I'm sure any of the area officers on today, or even the state officers, chapter visits is one of their most favorite things that they get to do throughout their year of service. Also, with chapter visits, the way that you'll know you're requested is Mr. Lejeune and Adam, and then also our staff member, Ellie. She's not here today, but they will send you an email, and it will tell you what chapter, what day and time you've been requested to, and ask if you are available to go. And from there, you'll respond either yes or no. And if you say yes, he will let the advisor know, and they will send you a request form that has the workshop that you'll be completing, what to wear, whether it's a chapter meeting or an event, maybe it's Ag Explosion or something that they have at their own chapter that they want you to attend. And so it will give you all the details you'll need to know to be able to complete that chapter visit effectively. We also have the business and industry tours, and so we call those BNI tours. And that is where you're going to meet the industry leaders that I was talking about. That's where you're going to make those relationships and network through that. You're going to go, typically you travel to these actual industries, and they'll give you a tour of their facilities. They'll let you meet and talk with the leaders of that organization or that industry. And then you'll also get to talk about FFA and connect with them, the different programs that we have in our industry, and to their industry, right? And so, if they're, let's say they do something with small engines, you can always relate back to the small engine CDE that we have, and kind of talk about your experiences in FFA and how we can bridge that gap. And so a lot of times they also, see how they can help us out. And so they'll ask, what kind of scholarships can we give, or what can we do to help FFA members out? And so that's where you really get to advocate for FFA and open up new doors to opportunity for future members, which is really cool. And then, of course, just touring the facilities is really fun. You get to see what Louisiana agriculture truly is. All right. Then we have area officer training. So area officer training is also mandatory. This is where you're going to learn your team dynamics. You're going to learn how to write a workshop. You're going to learn how to present or facilitate a workshop. And then you're also going to get to know the other area officer teams. And so this is led by the state officers. They're going to teach you guys all of this material and how to perform all these different tasks as an area officer. And we hold it at Camp Grant Walker. And so August 1st through the 3rd this year, we'll have your area officer training at Camp Grant Walker. We reserved the pool this year. So if you were an area officer last year and you went, and it was super hot out, so as you can see, they played volleyball. But we noticed that it was so hot out and that y'all really needed a break in the pool. So we have fit that into our schedule so that y'all can go swimming and do all the fun things that, you want to do with your team as you get to know them. So yes, area officer is also mandatory, or area officer training is mandatory.
Excuse me, where is the camp for area officer training again?
Yes, it's at Camp Grant Walker. Camp Grant Walker is the 4-H camp. It's right in it's in Pollock, Louisiana. So that's like near Alexandria.
Okay, thank you.
We try to
It's in Grant Parish as well.
Yeah, so we try to keep it in a central location for you guys. All right. Then we have your area activities. So every area is going to host a conference. Maybe you went to your own area officers conference this year, maybe you didn't. But either way, you'll get to plan, write, and execute an activity for members within your area this year once you're elected. And so that's going to be anywhere between August and December. We let you guys kind of pick that date with your area officer advisor, and then you get to plan the theme, write your workshops, plan the activities that are going to go with that. And then of course, invite all the chapters in your area to come and hang out with you guys so that you can meet those members as well. it's a super fun experience. You get to tailor it to you, and you get to be the prime examples of what, you know, FFA is and how fun it is for all the members in your area. So that's super fun. When y'all go to start planning those activities, you'll just submit your theme and the different workshops that you have planned and all your materials to Mr. Adam, and he's going to work with you guys and get on Zooms with you to make sure that everything is perfected, and then you'll memorize and you know, practice giving those workshops, and you'll actually give it the day of. So it's definitely super beneficial for y'all. You'll get a lot of experience in just leading a group and being able to facilitate different things early on in the year too. That's why we do it in the first part of the year, so you can get that experience. Then we have our area LDEs. So LDEs is our leadership development events. If anyone's hasn't been involved in those typically take place in November and December. But those dates will be given to y'all as soon as we have them. We'll post them on our website, and your area advisor will also let y'all know. But when you go to area LDEs, you're going to give opening ceremonies, and then you're also going to give out banners to the members that win. And of course, if you compete, you can compete as well. But here you're just going to encourage them. You're going to take lots of pictures. You're going to help them calm their nerves before they go into the presentation room and with the judges. You're going to celebrate their achievements and, of course, present awards and pop banners, like I said, to those winners. And so you can see Bailey here. She gave out some awards this year. I think that was for CDEs, but it'll be the same concept for LDEs as well. Okay. Then we have National FFA Week. So our every year National FFA Week is in February. A lot of chapters do their own little agenda for National FFA Week, but it's not mandatory. We as a state do participate in National FFA Week, and our state officers usually do that through social media. They like to post challenges or different things that you can repost on social media. And so what you guys will do is you're going to participate in those social media posts. You're going to make your own post, participate in the challenges, repost the different things that we post on our main page, just so we can get that word out there and really encourage people to interact with the different things that National FFA has for National FFA Week. And then we also do a Give FFA Day, which is a part of National FFA Week. So they what that is that's where we encourage people to donate to our organization so that we can have the funds to be able to do all the great things that we get to do every day, and to provide all the opportunities to our members that you guys love, right? And so you'll just help advertise for that Give FFA Day so that we can hopefully make as many funds or as much funds as possible to keep having those opportunities and those fun events for all of y'all. SLDC, that is going to be the Student Leadership Delegate Conference. Typically we hold that in late February, early March. But this is where you're going to learn how to be that student leadership delegate that I was talking about. And so when issues are sent into the association, you learn how to delegate those issues at state convention, and then you also select your committee and plan to present at state convention. And so we just teach you all the ins and outs of how to delegate those different issues, how to, not necessarily which way to vote, but how to vote, and how that parliamentary process goes with within our organization, and how we decide on those different issues, how we run a meeting. So that's what you're going to learn as leadership delegates. Okay. And then we have our area CDEs. It's going to be the same as our LDEs. These are typically in March or April. And so as soon as those dates are out, we'll put those on our website, and you'll also learn from your advisor. They'll let you know. But here you'll do your opening ceremonies. You'll celebrate member achievements by giving them awards. Of course, calm their nerves, make sure they're good to go into the their CDE, and then pop banners and take lots of pictures.
When did you say SLDC is again?
SLDC is typically in February or March. that date hasn't quite been set yet. So we also have advocacy training. That's going to be in April of 2025. This is just where we're going to do a Zoom call so that you can learn how to conduct legislative visits. It'll probably be before Capitol Day, since we have Capitol Day late April, early May. And this is just so that you can learn how to meet with their legislators and how to talk to them and really advocate for FFA and agriculture education through the legislators. And so that would be sent out to you with a link, and you would just hop on and you'll meet with state staff so that they can kind of give you the rundown on how to form those relationships and how to speak to legislators, how to keep that professionalism. That will also be sent to you when that date is finalized. And then we have Capitol Day. So typically Capitol Day is in April. We had to push it back a little bit this year, so it's in May. It's actually on Tuesday. And so I definitely encourage you guys to go, and I hope I see you guys there this upcoming Tuesday, because it is a really great experience.
Excuse me, ma'am. Soon I may or may not be taking outs, like I told you earlier. So if I do, then I'm just gonna rejoin. Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine.
Also, I was gonna ask about Capitol Day. Is it that like different that y'all schedule them to go different times? Because I was there yesterday, and like it's very confusing. Do y'all like FFA do it one day and 4-H do it another? Like, how does that work?
Yes, so we do 2 different days. So 4-H has their Capitol Day, and then we have our FFA Capitol Day. Is there any other questions? No. Yes, so at Capitol Day, you will advocate for FFA, for agricultural education, and for agricultural at the state capitol. And then of course you get to meet with the legislators. So they come down, we eat lunch with them. You'll get to talk to your specific representatives of your area. And they really like to meet you guys. They like to see the future leaders of our generation. And so they really enjoy it, and it's a fun experience for you guys too. And how cool is it to be able to go back home and say, I just met with that representative. Mom and dad, I met with the person that you voted for just a couple months ago. That's such a cool experience and thing to get to do. So Capitol Day really is fun. And then this year also for Capitol Day, we've changed it up quite a bit. So we have a lot more games and different prizes for you guys, different events for you guys to participate in. I know we're going to have a scavenger hunt. We're going to have so many cool things going on that it's really something you don't want to miss. Okay. And then we have state convention, one of the most fun events of all, of course. Here, like I said, you will lead the delegate committee sessions, which are written and planned from SLDC. So you'll have training on how to do that. You are going to give the pre-sessions at the beginning of each session in the session hall. And so each area will have their own pre-session. That's where we get the crowd pumped up. We get the members ready for the session and to be awarded all the different things that they've done and experienced and won throughout the year. And so we recognize them, and you just really set the tone and make sure that everyone's having fun at the beginning of the session so that we can bring that into the actual session with the state officers. So those are really fun. Pre-sessions are super, super fun. They're one of my favorite parts of convention. And I think the pre-sessions we have this year are going to be great. So I'm super excited about that. See, actually behind us, you can't really see it, but we have a whole bunch of boxes back here, and it's all the stuff we've ordered for our pre-sessions. So that's what we were doing before we hopped on, is we were going through it with Miss Eton and looking at all the cool stuff that we got you guys. But also with pre-sessions, the presidents are going to give the prayer or the invocation at the beginning of the session. And so area 1, you would give the president would give the invocation for session 2. Area 2, you'd give it for session 3. Area 3 will give it for session 4, and area 4, you'll give it for session 5. All right. So now we're moving on to capstone. Capstone is, like I said, that's our reflective program that we have for each area officer. It just ensures that each of you guys are still growing and learning throughout your year of service. You will do different lessons about personal growth, about premier leadership, career success, everything that we hope for you guys to gain as you go throughout your area officer year. And it consists of monthly reflections. And so what Mr. Adam is going to do is he is going to send you a link with a form. You'll also have a little story that goes with each one, and you will fill out those forms that Mr. Adam sends to you. You'll read the stories, you'll answer a few questions, and you'll send it right back to him so that we can go over that and make sure that you guys are participating and that you're learning those lessons that we really hope you guys take from this year. And so some of those are just skills and knowledge that you need throughout your year of service. You'll read different lessons about that. You'll also read about and fill out different questions about teamwork, connections, appreciation, resolutions, all of those things. So once a month, you'll reflect and submit reflections on a different topic that kind of correlate with the events you'll do throughout the year. Can you hear me that? And so we pull them from books. It's called Habitudes. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the stories and the lessons are pulled from a book like this. And they're just sent to you through a Google form that Mr. Adam will email you. Each of you guys will also have your own LAFFA email. And so that's what it'll be sent to. And it's just once a month. Typically, we send it on the 20th of every month. And then you have until the last day of that month to fill it out. And so minimum, you'll have, 8 days minimum if it's a month with only 28 days. But typically, you have about 30, sometimes more. Or not 30. Typically you have at least 10 or more. Okay, so now we're going to go over some of the area officer policies. Were there any questions about the mandatory things and events that you had to do throughout the year that you guys would like to ask me?
So, I was wondering, with the chapter visits, are we going to be required to drive there ourselves?
So we're going to go through that in just a second. But typically you'll ride with a state officer or an advisor. Sometimes the advisors will bring you, but usually you'll carpool with a state officer.
Okay, I was just wondering.
But you can ride. You can, if you're of the legal driving age, you can drive yourself. And we have some different procedures with that. We typically encourage you to ride with the state officer though, if possible.
Yes, that makes sense.
So you must be a mind reader because we're jumping into that right now. But if you drive, you must have a valid driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance so that you can drive to those different events if need be. It's not mandatory that you drive any mandatory event like camp, SLDC, I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, AOT, anything like that. Your area advisor will also be taking you, or they can take you. So if you can't drive or if you don't have a ride or a vehicle, that's what our area officer advisors are there for. And they'll make sure to get you to those mandatory events. So that's nothing to worry about. You will be traveling a lot. And so that's why you must have those valid IDs and registrations and insurance if you do drive. We will reimburse you 50 cents per mile when you drive your vehicle on official business. And so we have a reimbursement form, and that reimbursement form will be sent to you at the beginning of the year. You'll fill that out. You do have to keep a picture of all of your receipts and gas and everything else. So anything you pay for, you'll need to keep receipts of that. And then you will submit those and your mileage to Miss Eton, which is our secretary. She's just in the other office. She's a super sweet lady. But she will know if you're trying to get more money out of us than you actually spent, or if you're saying that you went to a trip and you didn't, or even that you went, 100 miles, but you only drove 50. There's strict guidelines that she has to follow to ensure that y'all aren't able to pull one over on her with those different types of things. So just make sure that you're super specific in what you put in that reimbursement form and that you're keeping all your receipts, because they will definitely know. And if you try to do that, then you won't get your check, which really sucks.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but was there any other events that y'all had before I just got taken out earlier?
That's all the events.
Okay, thank you.
Right. So those reimbursements are only up to 90 minutes of non-required travel as well. And so if you, let's say you're an area officer in area 4 and you get requested to go to Rustin's banquet, we will only reimburse you for up to 90 minutes of that travel. Typically you're only requested for things within your area, or proximity wise, they're only within 90 minutes anyways, but in the case that you aren't, we can only reimburse up to those 90 minutes. All right, so we also reimburse for meals. So if you have to pay for breakfast, lunch, or dinner while you're on an area FFA officer approved related activity, you're going to submit that with your mileage as well. You'll need to keep your receipt, of course. And, let's say you have an event at 5 p.m. that day. You can't go and buy breakfast and lunch and claim that on your reimbursement form. You would only be able to claim dinner. And so they also check that. They check the times of the event. And like I said, Miss Eton will definitely catch you. So just make sure you're super serious and, careful with what you put on that reimbursement form. And always make sure that you keep that receipt so that we can check it and everything. You'll submit that form once a month using the form that we send out to you. And so whether you want to do that at the beginning of the month or the end of the month, you'll just submit that once a month, not every time that you go to an event. So you'll kind of save them for a few weeks and then you'll put it all in at once. Your reimbursements are contingent on you fulfilling requirements. And so, like I said, if there's any discrepancies in your reimbursement form that you send to Ms. Eton, it won't be approved. And then if there is anything that you haven't fulfilled as a responsibility as an area officer, so let's say you're not sending your reflections to Mr. Adam, and you haven't done it for the past 3 months, you will not get your check, your reimbursement check, until you fulfill all those requirements and those responsibilities. Okay. Now we're going to move on to wardrobe. Wardrobe is a very important thing as an area and even as a state officer. But like I said, you guys are the examples for what a premier FFA officer and member in Louisiana FFA is. And so you have to be up to par in every single category, and that transpires even into your wardrobe. And so you will get a blue area officer federation jacket. And so you'll get your own area officer jacket once you're elected. You'll also have to wear your tie and your scarf, your white collared shirt, the blank pants or the skirts. Of course, your skirts have to be past your fingertips for girls. You'll wear your black belts, your black socks for boys, black tights for your girls, black closed-toe shoes, no belt buckles, and no excessive or large jewelry. And so from, your scarf and your white collared shirt all the way down to your shoes, everything has to be in guidelines with what official dress is supposed to be. And so if you look at Kinsey, Hayden, and Camille, you can kind of see that what they look like, and they always do a great job of making sure that their official dress looks awesome. So we put them on there.
So everything is the same except for the jacket, correct?
Yes. So it'll be the same blue jacket. It will just be a specific area officer jacket. And so instead of saying your chapter on the back, it's going to say area federation.
Okay. I am sorry about the whole bill situation. If you do that here, that's our class bill change.
No, that's okay. All right. So then you also have casual official dress. So I put Hayden right here because that's an example of what not to do in your official dress. You cannot wear shirts or anything like that outside at an event or anything. I just thought it was funny. I wanted to make fun of Hayden a little bit, but that's an example of what not to do. But if you look at Bailey and Sophie, you'll see this is what a good example of what to wear for your casual official dress is. And so each area is going to pick out their own polos as a team. This was the area 3 polos. They look so great. And you'll wear these to camp, to AOT, to SLDC, to your conference. And so that's going to be your team polo. Typically, you're going to wear that with your khakis, a belt, either Hey Dudes or Sperry's or boots, whatever your team decides on, but you try to match shoes if possible. And so, yeah, so you're going to have your Area Federation polos, your khaki pants, your brown boots, your brown closed-toed shoes. Belt buckles are allowed. Remember, belt buckles are not allowed for official dress, but they are allowed for casual official. You can't have any excessive or large jewelry. And then, of course, if you need to wear a light coat, you can wear that as well. Is there any questions about wardrobe before we move on, or reimbursement or anything like that?
Yes. Do we personally have to pay for these extra things like the polos and new jackets?
So, those things usually are discussed with you and your area advisor. It really just depends on the area.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But once you're elected, you'll be able to talk to your advisor about those two different things. But the only things that you would be paying for if you did need to pay would be your jacket and your polo. Those are the only two things that you would be getting. So, typically they are paid for. Okay. Then we have our social media. So like I said, you do have to keep a presence of professionalism on your social media and through every interaction that you have. And so you guys will have to let us staff follow you guys once you're elected. And so we'll follow you on TikTok, on Instagram, all the social media platforms. And we do reserve the right to police and take action when those social media accounts are used inappropriately. And so we hope that you would use it for positive promotion, for encouraging members, for spreading different opportunities for Louisiana FFA. But we do have the right to go through those and make sure that there's nothing inappropriate about those accounts. And so those things could be, profanity. You can't use profanity, or songs that have profanity. No gestures that would be considered profane. And so you'll go more in depth with that at your area officer training and camp training. But those are just some things to keep in mind. Let's see. You also have area federation accounts. So those are typically either TikTok or Instagram. That you guys do run, and we'll also follow those. But those are super fun because you can post about the different events, members, chapters, accomplishments, the fun things that you'll have. You can do challenges. And so you'll run that as a team as well.
Do we still get to have TikTok since we merged with 4-H?
So you guys can have individual TikToks. Louisiana FFA as an organization cannot have a TikTok, but you guys can have your own.
Okay.
And then
What does she mean by merge 4-H? What happened? I'm confused.
We're just under the 4-H, we're under the Ag Center. And so our bosses, Adam and I, our bosses are now the Louisiana Ag Center, which is also the bosses for 4-H. And so we're just under that umbrella. We didn't necessarily, our organizations didn't merge together though. So 4-H still is his own organization. We're still our own organization. We just have the same bosses. All right, so we're going to jump to communications real quick. If we send a weekly update or any emails to you guys, of course, you're going to need to respond and read that as soon as possible. Like I said, you will have the email account. And so I recommend that you check it every day. Go ahead and download the Gmail app to your phone. And then that way, if an email is sent, it automatically gets sent to your phone, just like a notification for anything else. You'll need to respond to emails within 1 business day, respond to messages within 8 hours, and then you'll need to send or respond to letters within 2 weeks.
So are we getting new email accounts after we become an area officer?
Yes. So for example, my email is erichwine@laffa.org. And so you guys would also have the same email account. Let's say Olivia, for example, hers would be ostarks@laffa.org. And that's how we will send all of our communication updates, anything like that. All right. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little 15-minute break. We're gonna do 10 minutes just because we started a little bit later. We have a lot of people on here, so the introductions took a little bit longer. So we'll give you 10 minutes. Y'all come back at 10:30. Yeah, 10:35, and we're gonna start with the nom-com process. All right.
Only an hour and a half. Only. I don't even want to go to the rest of school anymore. I'm hoping that the reason that they haven't posted candidates yet is that they're still having issues with children not being able to participate, and there's going to be less because there's 20 kids running as of the last update. I'm talking about state right now. There's like 70 kids. It's 2 different days, 3 different rounds, but it's gonna feel like forever.
period. Cause like
Hey, Vic.
Vic's mic don't work, and she's over here trying to figure out why.
Has she tried hitting the unmute button?
Yeah, I think she's not that dumb, Hannah.
Hey, I didn't say she was dumb. You said she was dumb.
I said that. I didn't say she was dumb. I said she's not that dumb.
You still said she's dumb. You still said she's dumb.
Like I said, if we do trips and me and Pat get put in the team together, I'm definitely
We're
gonna
gonna
be.
If we do
carpooling.
trips, it's gonna be fun. That's all I gotta say.
You heard her? She said if we do trips, it's gonna be fun.
But we gotta make sure that it's trips without a certain someone. And if it is, I'm not going.
Like I said, Leo wants to get him to go to convention.
They're trying to get him to go to convention.
Leo
All
wants
right.
to talk to
Did you guys have a good break?
See, that's
Yes,
what I don't get.
ma'am.
Why
Yes,
would you
ma'am.
try to get him to go to convention? That's like
Hannah.
Hey, Hannah and Stacy, can you guys go ahead and mute yourselves for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sorry, Miss Elizabeth. That's my
That's
bad.
okay.
I forgot I was on the phone.
That's okay. We're just gonna start back up. All right. Oh, went too far. All right, so like I said, we went over the mandatory events, what your role and your responsibility is going to look like as an area officer. And then we also went over just some of the different things that you'll get to do as an area officer, and the benefits of being an area officer and having that experience. So now we're going to talk about the nominating committee process, which I'm sure is probably what you guys were most looking forward to or had the most questions about. And so we'll talk through it. And then if y'all have any questions, y'all just write them down and I'll ask more towards the end. Okay. Okay. So what is the nominating committee process? So the nominating committee process is an interview that tests your ability, your knowledge, your capability, and your competency of Louisiana FFA, agriculture, and FFA. It's made up of different organized rounds that are accurately test skills that are necessary for being an area officer. And so those specific skills that we test are called competencies. And so we'll go through those a little bit later, but I'll show you exactly what those are and what those scorecards kind of look like so that we're fully transparent and you know exactly what you're going to be judged on when you walk into that nominating committee process room. And then you're also scored by a committee of your own peers. And so that's one really cool thing about Louisiana FFA is you're scored by the people that are just like you. You're not scored by, judges who are from a completely different organization or who may not be familiar with FFA. You're scored by the people that you do all of these competitions, all of these events, have all these opportunities directly with, right? They're your age, they're your own peers, they're members just like you, like I said. And that's one of your benefits, right? Because it's easier for you to relate to them. It's easier for you to understand what's going through their mind. And then of course that just kind of ensures that there's no biases in this process. It is completely scored and it's foolproof. And so we have a really good nominating committee process. And we've worked really hard to get it to where it is today. Okay. So the primary goal of our nominating committee process is to select the best student representatives of Louisiana FFA to represent our areas, right? Our secondary goal is to provide all officers with a positive developmental experience. And so those are the two things that we really hope you guys get out of this process, but also get out of your year of service. The primary and secondary goals are then accomplished by utilizing a highly structured process. So like I said, it's taken us years to get to where we are now. And we've had all the trials, we've had all the fails, and we've fixed all those weak points that we had within our process. So now we do have a super structured, super high, super organized process that you guys will be going through. And it's really fair, it's transparent. Like I said, I'm going to show you what the scorecards look like. You're going to engage with the committee and the candidates in a professional interviewing experience. And so there's no worry about having someone walk into the room randomly while you're giving your speech, or any distractions taking place while you're doing your interview. It's super professional, it's super secluded, it's monitored. And so you're going to have a great experience as you go through that interviewing process. We're also going to provide all the candidates with access to current and relevant resources in preparing for the selection process. And so we're going to show y'all different questions that may be asked, kind of the format and the layout of the interview process. And we're also going to employ the use of competencies to measure candidates' abilities as an area officer candidate. And so you're also going to have a super consistent scorecard amongst everyone else. And so everyone's going to be judged in the same way and scored in the same skills and the same competencies, which is also really reassuring. Okay, so we're going to go through the different interview rounds that are in the NomCom process. The 2024 selection committee process consists of 4 rounds. This year, our rounds are a little bit different than they have been in the past. And so if you've ran as an area officer before, just be aware that your experience this year will be a little bit different than it was in the past. So for round 1, we have the personal panel introduction. For this round, you're going to go into your room. You'll have 5 minutes to answer 3 introductory questions before the entire committee. And so those questions may be examples for those questions are, what is your SAE? What is something valuable you bring to a team? What is your definition of leadership? So this is questions that they're going to ask to really get to know you. That's going to be your very first round. That round is going to be on Tuesday, and we'll go through that schedule just a little bit more in depth a little bit later. But your very first round is going to be on Tuesday. You'll go in, you'll answer 3 questions, and you have 5 minutes to answer those questions. Okay. Now, this is where the change has been made. Round 2 is going to be directly after round 1. And so let's say Mr. Adam is our candidate. Mr. Adam is going to go into the nominating selection room. He's going to say, my name is Adam Poussin. Nice to meet you. Shake everyone's hands. He's going to stand there. The committee will let him know you're going to have 5 minutes to answer these 3 introductory questions. Your time starts now. They'll ask him the questions. Right after he finishes those 5 minutes, they will say, we're going to write down our scores. He's going to stay in the room. All right. After about a minute or 2 for all the committee members to submit their scores, you're going to jump directly into round 2. And that's the advocacy panel. And so instead of you going back out into the hall, back out into the waiting room, you are going to go directly into your second round. There's not really going to be a break at all. So for this round, you're going to have 5 minutes again to answer 3 knowledge questions before the entire committee. And so those questions are going to be relating to FFA, agricultural education, and the agricultural industry. And so some of the examples for, let's say, the ag industry is going to be, since the COVID epidemic, many agricultural supply chains have been disrupted. What can the industry do to ensure that all Americans have access to agricultural products and food? So at that point, you would have 3 questions in this similar format asking about agricultural knowledge, FFA, or the industry. And you'll have 5 minutes to answer those questions. So now that I've gone over round 1 and round 2 and the change that's happened this year, are there any questions so far? No?
Say that we have round 1 and 2. After we do round 1 and 2, are we done for the day with that, or?
You will be done for the day. So you'll do round 1 and round 2, and then you'll go back to the session hall, to your room, whatever, depending on what time it is. You can go participate in workshops, be with members, but you will be done for interviews for that Tuesday.
I meant to ask.
Is this all for like one entire day, or is this like throughout the whole week until like the last day that they're officially like putting in the jackets and all?
You're talking about the interview process?
Yeah, like does this take place over the whole week or just a day?
No, so it's gonna take place over 2 days, and so that's gonna be the Tuesday and the Wednesday of convention week, and so then that would be the third and the
We'll have to schedule it.
yeah, we'll have the schedule up, but I'm pretty sure that'll be the it's gonna be the 4th and the 5th, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
The 4th and the 5th,
Okay.
be a Tuesday and a Wednesday.
The
Okay,
schedule's
thank you.
on the LAFFA website. You can look at.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we gonna have cuts this year like we did last year, where it's like you do the first part, like 2 interviews, and then they make like the cut, or is it just gonna be we find out at the very end?
So because we have so many members and candidates this year, there is gonna be a cut. The cut will be posted after all the scores are examined after round 2. And so not directly after your round. So let's say, you might be the third person to go in for round 1 and round 2, and then leave. It could be several hours after your individual interview, but after the entire interview process is done for Tuesday, we will put the cuts on your committee door. It will be posted there.
Will each area have a specific set of judges?
Yes. Yes, each area has their own committee.
So if we're competing in a contest that day, would we compete at a certain time or?
Yes, so I'm going to go through that a little bit further because we will address that. But is there any questions regarding the actual panels, the advocacy panel, the introduction round?
Could this range from like certain history and like agriculture education and or just like anything in the industry or just anything in general from agriculture?
Yeah, so it's going to be you'll have one question relating to FFA, one question relating to agricultural education, and one question regarding the agricultural industry. The committee members make the questions, and so yes, it could be regarding absolutely anything. Just know that it will be pertaining to those topics.
Okay.
And everyone in the same area will get the same questions, right?
Yes. Okay. Everyone within your area will get the same questions.
Victoria was asking, how did you study for all this? Her mic's not working.
Okay, thank you. So in order to study, I would just keep up with current events for sure. That would be a piece of advice. I would talk to your mentors, to your advisors. Like I said, you're going to be scored on your competencies, which we'll go over in a little while, but you'll see more so what you're going to be scored on, not necessarily knowledge, but more the characteristics that you have that you'll be able to utilize as an area officer. And so you'll see that a little bit further, but once we go through that, I think that'll help you understand what you're actually going to be scored on.
Are we allowed to know how many people are competing in each of our areas? That way we kind of have an estimate.
It's not finalized quite yet.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I have a question. Will this interfere with me being a chapter delegate during the state convention?
It won't interfere with you being a chapter delegate, no ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions regarding the rounds?
During the rounds, so
you can go. Go ahead, Lola.
So people, I know somebody else mentioned something about competing in a competition, but like if you're competing in, say, Ag Issues, for example, would you go a certain time in the process or would you be competing at a different time?
So I'll go through that again in a little bit because we do have a whole section regarding that. But as for just rounds right now, is there any questions?
What time are the rounds going to start? Like,
we'll go through that.
What time are they starting in?
We'll go through the session or the schedule in just a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, perfect. Okay, Here's another question for advocacy. This is an FFA example. So an advisor has a chapter that he wishes was more involved. What are some ways advisors can help achieve this goal and increase membership in their own chapters so that all ag students can be members of the FFA? That's an example of the advocacy round for an FFA question. And then we have another one for ag education. And so they might ask, there's a critical ag teacher shortage among the United States and within Louisiana. What are some ways to encourage teachers to return to this field and stay in this profession? So those are just some examples of what those advocacy questions might be. Okay, so like I said, after round 1 and 2, you'll go directly in for round 1, and right after you will do round 2. That will conclude your interviews for day 1, which is Tuesday. We will then have a cut after all of the rounds are finished, after everyone has done their interview for that day. That'll be posted on your committee door. And then starting Wednesday, those who go through the cut, who make it through, they will have the stand and deliver interview. And so for this, candidates will be expected to give a 3 to 4 minute speech to the committee on an assigned topic. Each candidate will be moved to a preparation room where they're going to be given their topic and 20 minutes to prepare for their speech. As state staff will monitor and observe the room to keep time. Once the time is up, they will move the candidate to the committee room to present. All right. So you're going to be given 20 minutes to prepare for a 3 to 4 minute speech. We will have materials in that room. So we'll have flashcards, paper, pen, those sorts of things. You will not be able to use a computer, a book, your phone, any research materials like that. Okay. From there, once you're moved after the 20 minutes.
I have a question. So on
Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
So on LAFFA, looking at yesterday, and on the scorecards, they say that the candidates have 20 minutes to prepare a 5 to 6 minute speech. I thought that was a typo, but I wasn't sure. I was going to make sure today.
Yeah,
I can send it to the chat. I think I probably get a screenshot, but
yeah, it's okay. We can go back and look at it. So that's going to be the 5 to 6 minute is for the state officer nominating committee selection process. For you guys, it's 3 to 4 minutes. And so we use the same scorecards. However, the time limits is different. You're scored on the same competencies for state and for area. And so we just put those up there as like example scorecards. And so it's the same competencies, but it will be a different time limit. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Perfect. So yes, so like I said, after your 20 minutes, you'll be moved to another room to present. The staff member will keep time once the candidate has started their speech. And so you'll be given a warning when 1 minute is remaining and stopped at 4 minutes, right? And so you have 3 to 4 minutes to give your speech. That 3 to 4 minutes will not start until you say the very first word, beginning with your speech. You'll be given a warning at 1 minute left, and then you will be completely stopped at 4 minutes. After the completion of each speech, the committee will ask you one question, and the candidate will have 2 minutes to respond. So they will ask you one question depending on your speech. An example prompt of what the speech topic may be is, as an area officer, you are asked to give a speech to a random high school FFA chapter, freshman members on opportunities available to them in the FFA. In your presentation, you should cover what the FFA is, how students can become involved, and the benefits of joining. So that would be an example topic of what your speech should be about.
And you said no books or computers or anything like that?
No, you cannot use any
Okay.
books or computers. We only have writing utensils and paper. Flashcard.
Like the flashcards that y'all give us, does that have information to write the speech about?
No, those would be blank flashcards so that you could write your own notes to prepare.
Okay.
your speech. Any other questions?
So when giving the flashcards, if we write our information down on the speeches, like keep in order, obviously it'd be like bullet points, but are we allowed to have that? We're still allowed to have that in the committee and like look at it without getting points deducted, correct?
Yes, so you are allowed to have it in the committee. However, keep in mind that others may not use those flashcards. And so if you appear to be reading off the flashcards, I can't promise that you may score lower in a competency, depending on what the committee sees from that. So you are allowed to have them and you won't be deducted simply for having them in the room. But you do need to be aware of how you use those flashcards.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions?
What if we come close to like 3 minutes, but not exactly 3 minutes?
That's okay. If you have nothing else to say and that is the end of your speech, that will be the end of your speech. I do recommend that you try your best to be in between that 3 and 4 minute range. Obviously, you don't want to go over. You don't want to only be at 2 minutes, right? Because they gave you that 3 to 4 minutes for a reason and they want you to fill that time. So my recommendation would be to try to stay between those 3 and 4 minutes if you can.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Nope. All right. So then after round 3, you'll have round 4. Now this is not going to be like Tuesday where you have one round and go directly into your next round. Oh, I'm sorry. It is like that. My bad. You're good. Okay, so it's going to be just like Tuesday. You're going to do your stand and deliver, and then you're going to move to the next round, and you're going to have 5 minutes to answer 3 questions before the entire committee. This is a lot like your first round. And so this is just like your last try to kind of show why you want to be an area officer, and why you submitted that application. And so these are kind of get to know you questions, but more in depth. And so you'll have the 5 minutes to answer 3 questions before the entire committee. It's going to be identical to the very first panel round you had. You're going to answer questions like, why should we choose you to serve Louisiana FFA? What is the biggest lesson you have learned? If elected, what might you be scared of? So those are just some example questions of what that final round will be like.
Emma had asked a question.
I'm sorry.
I was trying to say, Emma had asked a question in the chat, which she was asking if that you're under time, does it affect your score?
It's up to the committee. And so like I said, we recommend that you go between 3 and 4 minutes. And the committee will evaluate whether you're under time. They will evaluate what that means in comparison to your competencies. And they will judge their scores off of that. Does that make sense for everyone?
Is there going to be cuts in between after round 3?
No, there will not be cuts.
Okay.
The only cut will be after round 1 and 2 on Tuesday. Okay. So some of those competencies that I was talking about is communication, being a team player, and your areas of knowledge. And so what the committee is looking for is they want to see that you can demonstrate effective forms of communication. So that's nonverbal listening, that's written communication, that's speaking and facilitation to convey a message. And that's in both settings for a large group and also on one-on-one settings. Okay. And so just like I was saying, if you're under time, we're not going to say that that's necessarily wrong. You need to use the time that you have. And we advise that you use 3 to 4 minutes, but the committee will evaluate how well you can demonstrate effective communication based on how long you give that speech. Okay. Any questions regarding that? All right. So then another competency we have is team player. They want to see that you can demonstrate the ability to work in a team setting, that you value diversity in opinion, that you work to be inclusive in the process, and that you're willing to put others above yourself. And so throughout your answers, they will be looking for that team player aspect. They also look for areas of knowledge. They want to see that you can demonstrate the ability to articulate the systematic nature of fiber, food, and agriculture, as well as natural resource issues, FFA, educational issues, and all respective current issues within the agriculture industry. So like I said, as an area officer, you're going to be advocating for FFA, for agriculture education, for the agricultural industry. And so you do need to have knowledge of the concepts of FFA, of education, of agriculture education, and of the current issues affecting our industry right now.
Hey, Vic is saying she has to leave.
Thank you. I just saw that. Is there any questions on the competencies? I can show you guys where that is on our website as well. And I'll do that in a little while, but any questions on competencies? No? Okay. There's two more. That's going to be character and influence. And so for your character competency, they want you to show that you can display a disposition that is authentic. They want to see your true self, that you're inclusive, that you're responsible, honest, mature, confident, and respectful. They also want to see that you can demonstrate the ability to influence others through modeling expectations, through building relationships, and through growing the organization. And so those are two more of the competencies that you will be judged on based on the committee of your peers. So just like I said, we will for sure have a cut and advancement. The pool this year, the candidate pool is way too large. We will have to do that cut. Again, that will be on Tuesday. This advancement is based solely on scores, and it's going to be held at the conclusion of round 2. Candidates who do not advance will not participate in the last 2 rounds of the interview process. So if you do not advance through the cut, you will not go to the interview rounds on Wednesday. That's the 3rd and the 4th rounds. The advancement will be announced the evening of Tuesday. That's not June 7th. That's a typo. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to be Tuesday, June 4th. All candidates and advisors will be alerted if they're of the cut. We have an app that we use and a website, and so we can send out notifications on that website, and they will most likely send out that a cut has been made and it's been posted to your guys' doors. And so you'll see that that cut. It'll be on the committee door on Tuesday, June 4th. Okay. So now we're going to look at the schedule a little bit more in depth. So all candidates need to go in an official dress to the Bentley Hotel. You're going to go to the Claiborne room specifically directly after the session on Tuesday. Okay. And so we don't expect you guys to miss the session. Directly after the session, you are going to go to the Bentley Hotel on Tuesday to start rounds 1 and 2. Like I said, rounds 1 and 2 will be conducted back to back, and then the cut and advancement, if it's happening, will be held that evening. Okay. Then if you make the advancement on Wednesday, June 5th, interview rounds with round 3 will begin promptly at 8 a.m. and round 4 will immediately follow. And so you will need to go to the Claiborne room again on Wednesday if you make that cut. And then, of course, Thursday, June 6th, nominating committee's report will be announced following the end of the state FFA degree ceremony on Thursday morning. And then the elected officers will be installed at 10 a.m. in the session hall. Are there any questions regarding the schedule?
You mind if I take a picture?
Yeah,
you mind if I take a picture so I can write this down later?
Of course. This
Okay, thank you.
PowerPoint will also be posted to our website and the Zoom call.
So Thursday morning, when we are being told, like before we're installed, I don't know if y'all are doing it again, but last year, like they told us before, and then we were stalled in the session. What time will that be?
What time will the session be, or what time will you be installed?
No, will we be told before the session?
Before the session?
Like we were brought to a room with all the delegates last year, and they like told us.
Right. So it just follows. We can't give you a specific time because we have the the business session in the morning of Thursday, June 6th. We have that business session. And it's where we award the state FFA degrees. And we don't actually do anything with you guys until directly after that finishes. And so time wise, we can't give you a specific time just because we don't really know where that's going to fall. But it will be directly after the FFA degree ceremony, state FFA degree ceremony.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can we do a group me? Like, can you do a group me with everybody in it, or you can give us updates as to like what the times are going to be, or like if something's going late and we have to push the time back to be able to be updated at all times at what's going on.
Yeah, like I said, we will make sure that communication is and those updates are given to you guys. So whether it's through GroupMe or through our app, we'll figure that out and we'll let all of you guys know. So you'll be updated with how we're going to have that means of communication. And then if anything ends up happening to where it has to be pushed back or something's running late, you will definitely be notified.
So, will LAFFA have the app like it did last year during convention?
Yes. And
So,
those instructions will be sent to your advisor.
How do we get that app again?
Yes, so those instructions will be sent to your advisors on how to get that app. Any other
So
questions?
I didn't get the chance to ask whenever you were on the topic, but whenever we are doing advocacy, do you have any sources that we should use to stay like relevant on news or anything, like anything you would recommend to look at to stay updated?
Yeah, of course. So Farm Bureau is always good. We have the Farm Bureau Federation that's over the entire country, but then we also have a Louisiana Farm Bureau Association. And so you can go to their website and look at any of the news articles they have. They have their own news agency. And so they post different issues, different facts about agriculture that pertain to the agriculture industry all the time. So as far as the agriculture industry, I would definitely check out Farm Bureau. I would check out Twyla. Twyla it's a news agency, but it's This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. But if you just look up on Google, like Twyla TV, it'll pop up. They also do the same thing. They are strictly an agriculture based, news agency. And so their sole job is to post those different issues that are threatening Louisiana, and different things that we have going on in our state right now. I would definitely check those two resources. There's plenty of different podcasts, websites that devote themselves to updating all things Louisiana agriculture, all things agriculture in general. And so I would definitely start with those websites, but you could definitely find others that are going to be really good for training. That's for agriculture just in general. For FFA, I would look to the National FFA website as well as the Louisiana FFA website. We have a lot of resources there. Same with agriculture education. You can look at all those different resources, curriculums, and those will help you prepare for that advocacy round.
When you say like right after the session, do you mean like the morning session for June 4th, Tuesday?
On Tuesday, yes, it will be the morning session, right after the morning session.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right. Okay. So your candidacy starts now. Running for area office is an exciting experience, but it comes with a lot of responsibility and attention. Be aware that you have many eyes on you far before you ever walk into that interview room. And so, like I said, you don't know who the committee members are, but they do know who you are. And so they could be following you on social media, looking at the different things you post already before you've even ever met them. And so your first impression really does start right now. Be conscious of your social media, how others view you, and the image of yourself that you put out there. Also, be conscious of how you interact with different members, right? Whether that's at state convention, at different events. Just be conscious of how you treat people, because you never know who's going to be in that committee meeting or that committee room with you. And then, of course, your first impressions are very important. So keep in mind how you want the members and the committee to view you as you start training and as the next few weeks go by before state convention starts. Okay. Some of you guys had asked me if you were competing on those days, which you'll need to do. So if you are competing in ag science or any CDEs on Tuesday, you need to email Mr. Adam, and I'm going to give you his email in just a minute, but you're going to need to email Mr. Adam with your name, your chapter, and then what competition you're actually competing in. So whether that's a CDE or the agri-science fair, you need to let them know, and we will ensure that you go through your interview first, or at the beginning at least, so that we can get you to those competitions. Okay. Any other questions right now? And I'll give you that email in just 1 second.
So would conduct of chapter meetings fall under CDEs? Would that be the same thing?
I'll have to go check the schedule. If you're competing on Tuesday specifically, you'll need to let us know. If you're not competing on Tuesday, then that would be no. Okay. I know for sure the CDEs and ag science fair that we have CDEs and ag science fair both on Tuesday. But we do have our convention schedule posted on our website, and so you guys can go look at that. And if the competition that you're competing in, it does fall on Tuesday, just go ahead and send us your name, your chapter, and what that competition is. Okay, this is how you're going to contact us. So like I said, my name is Elizabeth Richwine. I am the state officer coordinator, so I run everything with the state officers, but I'm here to help you guys too up until convention. My email is erichwine@laffa.org. My phone number is 318-581-1093. And then we have Mr. Adam. His email is apuson@laffa.org, and his phone number is 337-458-9171. You guys can take a picture of this. If y'all have any issues, don't hesitate to reach out. That's why we're here. And yeah, I'll give y'all a few seconds to find that or to take a picture of that. And then after this, I'm going to pull up the website real quick so that you guys can see where the scorecards are. And I'll show you where the schedule is as well. And I'm just pulling up that website real quick. If y'all need if I didn't leave that screen up long enough for you guys to get one of our emails or our numbers, just let us know and we can tell you real quick. All right. I'm going to show you guys where these resources are going to be. So if you go to louisianaffa.org, you're going to go to the student portal. Up at the top, you're going to go to officer candidates and nominating committees. And then you're going to scroll down to area officer candidate resources. Of course, we have our application, our media release form, we have our manual, and then you'll see here we have our area and state scorecards. And so the scorecards, like I said, they just show what the competencies that you'll be scored on and what that looks like. And I'll pull up one here in just a second. But it also tells you, what each introduction round is what each round is going to be like. And so for area, you would have 3 minutes to answer 2 questions for introduction.
Could you explain how to get to the scorecard again, please?
Yes, let me start back over. All right, so can you guys still see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I'm going to type in laffa.org. I'm going to go here. That load. You're going to go to the student portals up here at the top tab. You're going to scroll down. We have this officer candidates and nominating committees. Then you're going to scroll down more and you will come to area officer candidate resources. So we have this officer manual. That's going to tell you all the events, required events, calendar events, your responsibilities, social media policies, all of that is going to be in this officer manual if you'd like to read it. And then we have our scorecards section here. And so it tells you what each round is like and what you have to do. And then if you wanted to see the scorecard for the personal introduction, you're going to go here. It would download it. And you would see this is exactly what the committee is going to fill out.
Okay.
I think it stopped my share real quick. Hold on. Let me see if. There it is. So this is what your scorecard is going to look like. And so the committee will be filling this out based on your performance in each round. And so they have their name, the candidate's name, based on communication, their verbal skills, what did they score? Nonverbal skills, what did they score? Organization, what did they score? Team player, areas of knowledge. And you can read through these and it's going to tell you a little bit more, but it's going to show you exactly what they're scoring on. Okay. So are there any questions for Mr. Adam or I as we wrap this up?
Before y'all go, when non-com is over, will we be able to see our scorecards like we will in competitions, or will we not know like what we scored in any of those areas?
I'm gonna have to speak to the coordinators because sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It really depends on the staff power that we have. Because if you saw like on the Zoom call, we have a ton of candidates. And so that's just a lot to send out, especially right after state convention. When we have base camp and regular camp, and then we've got AOT and everything. And so that's just a decision that they'll have to make afterwards to see if we have the manpower to send that out. But I can't promise anything.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions?
So with going back to the candidate resources, when you had for area, so the area stand and deliver, so it is 3 to 4 minutes, and did y'all change? Is state 5 minutes now?
So you cut it. You did cut out a little bit.
Officer candidate Zoom call said that
we can't really hear you, Owen. If you want to email Mr. Adam, he can get that answer to you because I'm just not sure what the question quite is. It's cutting out a little bit.
I think for the stand and deliver.
Owen, just text me what you want to ask and I'll ask it.
I think he's asking, like, did the stand and deliver get changed for state too?
No, so
or for area.
So what we went over in the state officer candidate school, those are the rules that apply to the state officer nominating committee. These are specifically the rules only for area candidates. I'm not sure if that's what you asked, Owen, but. And if y'all have any questions on interview rounds or anything like that, y'all can always email us and we'll answer those for you guys.
So like, are we running for like a certain officer, or they're gonna pick the officer that they seem fit best for us?
So it's based on your scores, and you're not like, you can't run specifically for the office of secretary. You're just going to run as an area officer to be an area officer, and they will put you in the position. that they see you qualified for.
So they just see where we fit best in,
Yes.
essentially. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? No. Alrighty, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, like I said, we're gonna put this Zoom call on our website, and it'll be under those candidate resources. And we're also gonna put the PowerPoint that we just gave you guys under our website, so you guys can refer back to that. And email us if you have any questions. Give us a call. And that's all we've got for you guys. So again, if you are competing on that Tuesday, you need to let us know. Yes.
Miss Elizabeth, is there going to be a time on the website where we're going to be able to see who all the candidates for our area are, like last year?
We haven't quite decided because of the sheer number of how many candidates we have. It is very possible, but I can't promise anything.
Yes.
So what Owen was asking, he wanted to know if the stand and deliver for state non-com was changed to 5 to 6 minutes as well, or if it's still 4 to 5.
So I'll have to go back and look because I don't know off the top of my head, but just let him know that whatever we went in or whatever rules we gave him in that state officer candidate school, those are the rules that apply for state officer candidates. The rules that we have for this is going to apply for area officer candidates. So the rules are different.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other questions? All righty. Well, if we don't have any other questions, you guys are good to go. Thank y'all so much for spending your morning with us, and good luck. We can't wait to see y'all at convention.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of y'all's day.
Thank you.
A good rest of your day.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good rest of your day, everybody. Thank y'all. Make it